6 or 8 of these things, but I stand a chance.
Well, there's no problem. Okay, I'll shoot him in the head. That's a sure way to kill him. You don't get yourself a club or a torch. Beat him or burn him. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it'll take you until you get the situation?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. You don't know how many of them there are. You know when you find them, you kill them.
Are they slow moving too?
Yeah, they're dead. They're almost.
Welcome to Zombie Popcorn Radio. It is May 8th, 2010. This is Jason.
This is Paul. Yay.
And I guess Josh doesn't want to be with us.
Oh, I thought Christine was going to go.
Well, we got to introduce her first.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Josh.
Josh is with us, and we have a special guest in studio tonight, and which we'll get to the reason why she's with us later on in the show. But Christine is with us. Say hello, Christine.
Hello.
Everybody says hello back.
Thank you.
And
nice
Jan's
to
sitting
be
at the
welcome.
edge of the table.
Jan is at the edge of the table. And Josh is in the chat room, and so am I. So if you want to join us on the chat room, please pop in over there. And I think we're going to start off the show real quick with a video just to disturb our viewers.
A disturbed video? What the hell's
No,
wrong?
no, not disturbed.
Oh my god, I've been waiting 20 fucking episodes to do that.
I'm scared, but here it is.
クラッシュです。
クラッシュですか。
はい、温厚な上司の怒らせ方にも収録されているお宝クラッシュというのがあるんですが、はいですがね、何もクラッシュできるのは物に限ったことではないんですよ。
と言いますと、
ここに、
はい、
大橋さんのお写真があります。
はい、
これをですね、
What the hell is going on?
Is it a picture of her? Ew. Oh my god.
And for the listeners, I know this makes good radio, but I had to play it. There's a guy pulls out a photo from his jacket, and he starts licking this photo of this girl. You can hear his tongue.
Oh my god, dude.
Wait.
これは信用クラッシュという怒らせ方です。
信用クラッシュ。
どうですか、大橋さん。
はい。
私に対する見方っていうのはちょっと変わったんじゃないですか。
そうですね。なんだかちょっと今後一緒に仕事をしていく自信
Act
が
like
あ
nothing
りま
happens.
す。
But anyway.
今まさに
We'll
です
stop
ね
it at that.
職場における信用がクラッ
We have to. It's pretty awesome. So I just had to do that to, corrupt the young viewers. Apparently, Josh is.
Sorry, I just felt like doing that.
Yeah, it's all right. Anyway, on with the show.
That's awesome because I always want to do that.
So we got it. There's a dog in the camera with us. Oh, you know what? Fuck.
What?
Motherfucker! Let's do this again. This is every time we gotta do it again.
Hey, it's March.
It's May 8th, 2010.
March.
This is Zombie Popcorn Radio. This is Jason.
This is Paul.
Josh!
And we have a very special guest in the studio tonight, Christine.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, that's it. That is that.
And Jan is at the edge of the table.
What the hell
Wow, this
happened?
is deja vu.
Oh, I forgot to hit record again.
Yeah.
Well,
If you just joined us, welcome. 3D Movie Man is in the room. He went to Texas Fight Man. Did you? I showed you the photos he sent me.
Yes, those
Lucky
photos
bastard.
were really good. They were like super 3D.
Yeah, they were really good. Can I hear you, Paul? Can you hear Paul, Josh?
Barely.
Really?
Yeah.
How about now?
A little bit better.
Are your speakers turned up? You're not good.
My speakers are turned up pretty loud.
How about now? There we go. I'll just lean in.
Just lean in. Talk to me.
Check, check.
Hello.
No, I can't hear you at all. What the hell?
Weird.
Am I muted?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
There's your little button.
Good start. It's because I'm here.
I'm not
It
doing
is
it.
because she's here.
I told you we'd have technical
You did.
problems.
Wait, where's your?
He was like, this chick has the worst.
Zombie Popcorn is currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
That's what I did. We're back. All right. This totally fits to what this program is going to be about eventually. When we
We got back. Am I on? Am I muted?
hello, talk.
Okay.
Yeah, you're.
No.
But I'm not
Paul's
hearing you.
muted because I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either. He's not muted though.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the third. She's the
Yeah,
second. Okay,
there we go.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's why I got.
Oh, he made you third.
I know. You
Oh.
hear that shit? Oh, we see what's been heavy on his heart and who's getting cast away from the last show. I've been moved down a channel on the mixer.
Damn.
I guess Mama Lisa was right.
Mama Lisa's always right.
That's right.
I have to dispute that.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway, yeah.
part
go
of
ahead.
our theme for our show was people who have bad luck and just seem to spread it wherever they go. And our special guest had to leave, and now we were able to get back on.
Yeah. So
line.
but she's gonna come back and
Yeah.
she'll tell why she had to leave.
Yeah,
when she
and,
comes
and the
back.
show will probably stop again at 8 when she
Yeah,
gets
as soon as
back.
she gets back. So in the meantime, we have the stuff that we always talk about. Movies, which Josh was going to begin to tell us about. A trailer he saw before the new Iron Man 2 movie,
Which she never saw.
which he never saw. Come on, Josh.
I didn't see Iron Man, but I've been hearing all this press about this new J.J. Abrams movie. And J.J. Abrams likes to keep his projects very secretive.
Well, he just launched his
Yeah, really.
website to this secret project.
Right. Well, apparently it's being produced by Steven Spielberg, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's whenever he came out with Cloverfield, it was very, very like it was promoted, but every time you saw a promotion for it, you didn't know what the hell it was.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of doing something else. It's more like he's promoting the name of the movie and everything now, but it's you still really don't know what it's about. But I saw the trailer for it today. It got leaked, and it looks. I'm really freaking interested to see it now. J.J.
It's-
Abrams knows how to hook people.
Yeah, but it still seems it's the new film's title is called 8 Track.
No, it's Super.
Oh,
8.
Super 8. That's right. Sorry. And the trailer ends with something inside of a crate.
Trying to bust out of a train.
Yeah,
A piece of a train.
but I still don't know what it is.
From what I've heard, it has to do with like Area 51 and stuff, and it's going to be some sort of science fiction film.
Yeah.
And the only thing I've seen J.J. Abrams comment on it is that he's doing this. He's very influenced by the movies that he liked when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So it could be a number of things, but I'm really interested to see it. I tend to like everything J.J. Abrams does. So.
Did you like Cloverfield?
I loved Cloverfield.
Really? I haven't
Not
seen
a
it
lot of
yet.
People did, but
Yeah. I don't know why I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
I seem to be really slack whenever it comes to movies that have the home camera kind of vibe. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
It's-
Paranormal Activity yet.
I haven't either. And it's on Netflix, and you can just watch it there.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it.
it's Is Paranormal Activity on Netflix?
Yeah.
I know they have.
It's on.
they have-
It's in the on the Xbox automatic queue, not in my queue.
Because I was looking the other day and I saw some sort of paranormal something, but it wasn't that. It was something else.
Solar Chaser is in the room. Hello, Solar Chaser.
Hey, Solar Chaser.
Solar Chaser says it's supposed to be rumored that it's a prequel to Cloverfield. The movie.
That was the big buzz about it, but they were talking to J.J. Abrams, and even though he's very secretive about what he's doing, he said it's definitely not a prequel to Cloverfield in any way.
3D Movie Man says that Cloverfield was cool until he saw the crappy monster.
You guys probably, I'm probably the only one on the radio that's seen it other than 3D Movie Man and whoever else is listening, but I really liked the movie. It was very suspenseful, and I even liked the monster reveal in it. Like, I thought it was cool that they actually took a moment to show you the monster and whatnot. I really like Cloverfield. I've actually watched it a few times. I like it enough that I've watched it more than twice.
I think I'm gonna have to watch it just to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard both sides of the argument, that it's good and that it sucks. So.
Well, I mean, when I went to the theater to see it, as I was walking out, the two people that were beside me and my wife when we walked out, they were like, "That was the most horrible movie I've ever seen in my life." But me and my wife were walking out going, "That was freaking awesome." So
It's always weird when that happens. Jan and I saw The Children of Men, and
I've seen that.
at the end of the movie, you're just like, "Fuck," you know.
Yeah.
That movie's a downer, man.
Yeah, this guy, in the back is laughing. He's like, "That was a piece of shit, man. That was I can't believe I spent money on that. That shit was so gay." And I'm just like, "What? I'm gonna go hang myself."
I thought that movie was pretty decent. Actually.
Yeah, it was good. I
thought it was good.
I liked they actually had blood hit the camera.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of neat.
I always love when they do that. There was a new trailer of a movie that's coming out, and I can't remember, but there's massive blood hitting the camera.
Really?
Yeah. Just in the trailer. What fucking movie?
Ever since last show, I am so fucking psyched to see Piranha 3D. It's not even funny.
Really?
Speaking of Piranha 3D, that's a shitty segue. I jumped the gun on it, people. Let's wait.
What were you
How excited are you to see Piranha 3D? Well, I thought we were going to talk about the Mongolian death worms.
We can totally go talk about that.
That is the best title I've ever heard in my life.
Wait.
But it's not from the people that did, the studio that did Piranha 3D, but it's from the studio that did Mega Piranha.
Mega Piranha.
So it's going to be on Sci-Fi.
Awesome.
And fuck, it's called Mongolian Death Worms.
But see, the precursor to this story was Paul sent me a link today saying, "Hey, here's a topic we should talk about on the show." And I'm like, all right. So I click on it, not looking at the name on the link, just clicking on it, and it pulls up Yahoo News when role models go bad, and it has like the girl from Different Strokes and Gary Coleman and all the child star actors who get involved with drugs and stuff. So I'm like, I write him back and say, okay, awesome, we'll talk about that. I guess it kind of fits the theme that we're going to talk about later in the show. And then so I put it in our notes. And when I put it in the notes, I see that the URL says, "Treasure in Sci-Fi's Mongolian Death Worms." And I'm like, how is this anything to do with...
Yeah.
So I write him back and I'm like, wait a minute. So,
yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know what happened.
But 3D Movie Man has movie news. 3D movie news. I don't know if he's going to call in or if he's just going to type. Oh, wait.
While we're waiting on 3D Movie Man's news, I sampled
That's awesome.
Human Centipede.
I've heard a lot of bad things about that. But going back to 3D Movie Man before we get into that topic, he said that he talked to at Frightmare about Nicolas Cage's new movie Drive Angry, and they said it is going to be filmed in 3D and will not be a conversion.
Nice.
Yes. So maybe a good Nicolas Cage movie.
He recently just bought a small pyramid.
Nicolas Cage did?
Yeah, but it's
It's a mausoleum.
I thought he was broke.
It's not a real pyramid. So I see this news article: Nicolas Cage purchases pyramid amidst dire financial straits. I'm like, that's awesome. So let me click it, And he bought a burial plot in New Orleans that has a little pyramid. It's not some giant thing, you know. It's maybe like mid-thigh high.
I love
But,
news.
To tie him into his National Treasure
Oh,
franchise,
yeah.
It was bigger than that. I thought it was like 5 feet or something.
Maybe it was. It didn't look, but the picture didn't look that grandiose, you
No,
know.
it wasn't crazy.
I mean, but he spent a few million on it.
I'm surprised he didn't erect some sort of crystal cavern to be buried in, since he's such a Superman freak.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. You should probably email him.
But speaking of crystals, they're
That
going
was
to
a
do
bad segue.
they're going to do a sequel to Jim Henson's children's classic, The Dark Crystal, called The
Man.
Power of the Dark Crystal, and it will be in 3D. But anyway, go.
Shit.
That's gonna be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Or it could be really bad.
It'll
I
be
haven't
great
even
if they
seen
use the
original
same
Dark
puppets.
Crystal.
Yeah.
they're all covered with dust and like marijuana seeds from Hinton Studios back in the day.
But what were you going to talk about, Josh?
I sampled the Human Centipede. I'm not going to say I watched it because I didn't watch the entire thing, but it's something else, man.
Christine, our guest that was in studio, is now at home in the chat room.
That's awesome. I'm just gonna let the air conditioning guy in and then go.
Sorry.
That's so awesome. That's how different Josh and I are. When he said I sampled it, I'm like, oh, did you use it as a beat? Did you chop it up and reverse the audio from the screams?
No, and I have the capability to do that kind of stuff too, but that's not what I did with this movie.
Yeah. You just skimmed through it.
Yeah. It's it's fucking gross.
Yeah, it looked gross.
It's nothing impressive. I mean, it's just pretty much like they just decided, okay, let's see what we can do and do the grossest shit we could do to gross people out.
Let's sew asses to mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. That one review, it had the title of the movie and then a hyphen, and it just said, eh. That's all it's-
But the trailer looks freaky.
The trailer
as
looks
hell.
great, and that's the downfall of movies today.
Yeah,
is
the
they
trailers
make
fuck
amazing
so
trailers.
bad.
I mean, you can even look at my documentary. The trailer was awesome. The movie sucked.
I didn't want to come out and say anything.
And what? No, I say it all the time.
Hey, I liked your movie.
You know what I don't like about trailers? Is that last phrase that every trailer has to get in right before the last jump. Like, it's become a standard edit now, you know, starts off slow, oh, shit's going on, and then it dies down, and some kid whispers something, bah, 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 and then there's one more jump.
Yeah.
Like, every trailer now is like that. I miss the really old trailers where it wasn't like those 5 guys that only do trailers, you know, those voiceover artists.
Yeah.
And they'd have someone kind of bad, like from the 70s or 80s. And, you know,
Those are
like,
good.
Don't go into the basement.
But you know what trailer I'm really wanting to see? The trailer of that 3D Movie Man's making for Zombie Popcorn that we haven't seen.
Oh, yeah.
Where's that at, 3D Movie Man? What's up?
I would love it if they reverted back to the way trailers were back in the 80s, because the trailers are like 3.5, 4 minutes long, and you saw half the movie, but the movie was still good.
Yeah, in the
Well, I
70s,
don't
they would
know.
show, like, a whole fucking movie.
Well, the movie that we watched here on Zombie
Warriors of the
Popcorn.
Wasteland.
The New Barbarians.
Or the New Barbarians, yeah. I really would have just rather watched the
We could have watched the
trailer.
trailer and seen every
Yeah.
aspect of that film.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't go into the
It showed him
the
get
butt
sodomized.
rape as, no pun intended, deep as the movie did.
Whoa.
Oh. It's like Jim Cotta. Everything you need to see in Jim Cotta is in the trailer.
3D Movie Man says, I want a t-shirt for sitting through it. Because he did sit through it with us.
And I gotta say, he's the only person that said.
Yeah, I didn't even show up for that one.
But we got a comment, because, you know, I repost
Right.
the Zombie Popcorn rebroadcast on YouTube so people can watch it. We've gotten comments on it.
Really?
Saying that, I watched this film with my wife the other night.
That's so awesome. Speaking of Jim Cotta, I work with a guy who who used to work at like UPN 27, which is one of the shitty UHF channels around here in Virginia. And when I was a kid, I saw Jim Cotta on like Saturday night, 8 o'clock movie. And when you're, I don't know, when you're like 12, staying up till 10 to watch a movie seems way late. And I remember just thinking it was this awesome ninja Olympian movie. And I think it was when I first started doing the show, we were talking about it. And you're like, dude, that's Jim Cotta. And you brought it up. And so I'm telling a guy at work, and he's like, yeah, I used to work at the UHF, UPN 27, and yeah, I know exactly where it sits on the shelf. We'd play that shit like every month. And I was like, that's awesome. So,
Not really.
Yeah, no, but it is. Jim Cotta is awesome if you're 12 years old.
Well, see, I was a gymnast at the time, too, when we first watched it. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, I did gymnastics for 9 years.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
Yeah, Jason also had his ears ripped off.
Yeah, that too.
You did gymnastics?
Yeah, pretty gay, huh?
And you wore that shirt that we've seen you in? That you wore that, like, mesh see-through shirt as a kid.
Did you see how young
doing gymnastics? Oh, and my boy doesn't eat meat either. You were seriously gay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your facial you had yesterday.
Oh, man, this show's full of good segues.
Yes, everybody. Yesterday, if you go look, I'll post them tonight. But I have photos of Paul experiencing the facial rejuvenation.
I got light rejuvenation therapy yesterday. And we got acupuncture.
Yep.
Jason, me, and Jan. And we got some awesome chair massages.
Yeah,
Jan didn't like her chair massage.
She didn't like the chair?
She didn't like the needles either.
Yeah. You guys are gay.
We are not gay.
Hey, don't talk shit on the Meridians, buddy.
Is this Nightbreed?
Huh?
Oh, I know.
Oh, right.
It's not gay. But anyway, yeah, so Paul got a facial.
And the best part about it was this woman's giving a demo, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So I lay down on the couch, and Jason's standing there. Some husband of a massage therapist, not masseuse, massage therapist that works there, is watching the demo, and Jan's watching it. And so I got my eyes closed. She's rubbing cream and shit on my face, and then she's, rubbing these electrodes all over it. And right on. And then, then I open my eyes, and like 7 more people are in the room staring down at this table that I'm laying on. It's just kind of creepy.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at the new Predators website.
Oh.
That's
Sorry,
loud on our end. Mute your side.
Sound off.
All right. So, yeah.
This movie.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. No, I was all inviting them in.
Yeah, Jason's inviting people in. I look up. They're all watching me.
It was good.
Just 2 dudes getting facials, man.
You 2 dudes do a lot of gay stuff.
That's what we were talking about. They're like, wow. So, have you noticed how our social lives have been getting older and gayer in the last couple months? What'd you do? Well, me and Jason went to a Civil War reenactment, and then the following week we got light rejuvenation therapy.
No, there was something in the middle that you left out.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember what it.
That's what she said.
I don't know. There's. We probably went candle shopping or something.
We actually did go to the Christmas store.
Oh yeah, we went to the Christmas store together. But we were with your mom. Well, that's pretty gay.
You met my parents?
Yeah, I met his parents, and then we went and got facials.
Anyway,
and he took pictures of me.
I have a bunch of them.
Yeah. Wow.
That's gay.
Yeah. So, moving on. Will Smith commits to Men in Black in 3D. The story details is that they're going back in time.
Whatever.
I never saw the second one.
I don't think I have either.
The first one? I liked the first one. It's like, it's fun.
Actually, I have seen the second one, and it was terrible.
Is that the one at the end where there's that giant cockroach, or is that the first one?
No, that's the first one.
Okay. What's the monster in the second one?
I don't remember.
I think
It's so
there's a
terrible.
couple
I
of
don't
them.
even remember.
Isn't there a girl in the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I haven't seen it.
There's one in the first one too, I think.
But she's the main character, right? Because didn't Tommy Lee Jones
Johnny,
retire or
Johnny
something?
Knoxville was the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
It's like,
But they're also going to do a new Bad Boys. Will Smith is bringing back all of his old characters. That's the
That's
rumor.
awesome. There's gonna be a new Fresh Prince return.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I would go to the
Yeah.
theater to see that.
Yeah, yeah.
But no word on if.
And there's gonna be a new remix of Summertime after that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we could.
I can't go further than that. That's all I can remember.
Well, I'm just, I can't even remember any of it. So, but I was just thinking that we could, with our new band, we could,
Josh, I wish you hadn't moved, man. You could have joined our band.
Yeah, we have a band now. Well, that's not it. Josh is playing Summertime for us.
Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break the monotony of all that hardcore dance.
The best part is that we have a mute button.
No, the best part is
Okay, that's enough.
the best part is if you watch the video of Josh sitting there listening, he's chewing his gum and bobbing his head. Going, he's like, yeah.
Yeah, Summertime is coming up.
This is like
This is my jam.
Fuck you guys.
Man, I should find out what the chords are to this.
So what kind of band is it? Is it a punk rock ambient band?
No, it's even better than that.
It's a concept band.
It's not even a jam band. It's a concept band.
We're called Sound Check,
Sound check.
and that's all we do.
We go to venues, and the whole
Go to
time
venues and you go.
we go.
Could I get some?
Wait,
Could I get some more me in the monitor? I can't hear me.
and can you give me more bass in this
Check,
monitor?
check, 1 2 1 2.
Check.
Check. Yeah, and then we'll have someone hit on a drum for a while.
Check.
And then we'll play some bass.
How does that sound out there? You need. I think I definitely need more in this.
The
this
room's
monitor.
really live. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we're doing it.
This is it. Yeah.
More piano?
Why isn't the fog machine turning on?
Come on, turn on the fog machine. Awesome.
We're good.
1 2 1 2.
Can you hear
Check,
it? Can you hear
check,
us in the
check,
back?
Check.
How's
check.
that sound out there?
I'm
All right.
sure the listeners are loving this.
Yeah. I know.
But that's the concept. That's what we're going to do at every venue.
It's kind of like a John Cage, like 4 minutes and 33 seconds or whatever that piece is he did. There's like one art fag out there that got.
They're like, what?
Wow, I'm really like throwing out the.
You're drunk.
Gave an
for the
echo.
for the 3D room. Hold on, I gotta pull Paul or Josh off the screen.
So I have a love of energy drinks.
And he found this energy drink. If you're in 3D, it's coming
Is
at
it
you.
cocaine?
It's
No,
it's
it's Four Loco.
for loco, and it's energy alcohol drink.
Blue raspberry.
Blue
got out.
raspberry.
Yeah, it's like 12%.
Yeah, it says we ID.
Drinking on the show?
Getting wasted.
Which they didn't ID, actually.
Yeah,
They didn't ID,
yeah. But I mean, I have all this mannish stubble.
but you had the facial.
I know. I should have
It
looked
was
a
still
lot
glowing,
younger.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they would have ID'd?
The Venom girls took care of 3D Movie Man at Frightmare.
What does that mean?
Venom, the energy drink.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so was it all free? They hooked me up with mango venom, he said.
Nice. So how was the whole experience?
You need to call in and tell us.
Seriously,
3D
because we
man.
don't have enough shit to fill this
If
show.
you're on Skype, do Skype. That'll work better for us. If not, we can still do the.
He told me he saw Kane Hodder and Derek Mears, but he didn't talk to him.
Yeah. That 3D picture he has of Romero is pretty awesome.
Dude,
Come
George
on.
Romero looks uncannily like fucking Stan Lee, dude.
Isn't it weird? We always get Jen and I always talk about
Well, the
the
second
Stan
hour
Lee
we're doing
and
a
George
special
Romero.
program we're not gonna have.
We're like, oh wait, that. Oh no, wait, which one is it?
Kind of look the same.
Yeah. What if they're the same guy?
Maybe.
Mm.
I don't
Dun
know.
dun dun.
Dun dun dun
We
dun dun.
covered a mystery here on Zombie Popcorn.
Yeah, maybe.
Sort of.
Maybe. But anyway, so until we get an update on Frightmare, 20th Century Fox has announced that June 24th, 2011, for the new Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Apes. And it's apparently going to be in 3D. That's the rumor right now.
Is it going to be done by Tim Burton?
It's going to be... Fox has...
I love Tim Burton, but let's say I hope
Yeah,
not.
no. Fox has commissioned the studio who did the technology, WETA, W-E-T-A, that did the technology for Avatar and those big budget projects.
Right.
Fox has commissioned them to do the special effects for...
That's cool.
For the new Planet of the Apes.
I keep wanting to buy the whole set of the original Planet of the Apes.
Never seen it.
Oh man, I'm not even going to chastise you for it. Because I haven't seen all of them, but at least just put the first one on your Netflix. It's really good.
You're talking about the movie, not the series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put the first one with Charlton Heston on your Netflix. It's worth checking out.
I mean, I've seen the crappy remake with Wahlberg in it.
Yeah. Don't worry about that one. That one sucks. But the first one is really a good movie.
Well, I'm putting it in my Netflix right now.
All right. God
Do
damn.
it.
If I'd known that, I wouldn't have made fun of you for all the other shit, so you could have put it in your Netflix.
Oh shit! I'm actually playing it right now. No, I don't.
Just watch it. Fuck it. This show's boring.
Whoa.
Oh.
Thank you, For Loco.
You bring out the truth in me.
It's like a truth serum.
It is. So yeah, I just spaced on what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, it's okay.
Damn it, it was going to be important too.
Right, we were talking about Rise of the Apes.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Dark Crystal. What's next in the line of
You should
stuff?
talk about your bells.
Oh, I recorded some bells the other day, Josh. Or anybody who's listening. I recorded...
Kind of bells.
I recorded temple bells and singing bowls. It was really awesome. There's a Buddhist temple in Virginia Beach. And I'd been going... They offer like some classes. I'm like, yeah, I'll check this out. Why not? And mostly just because I wanted to see people in robes.
Not shower robes.
Yeah. But
I say you should have got enough of that at the facial.
No, I know, right? No, these are nice, like brown robes. And it's a Vietnamese Pure Land Buddhist temple, but they're super nice there, and they teach a meditation class. And I thought, why not record these bells so anyone who's interested can go on their website and download. You're taking the class, you want a quick 5-minute meditation, but you don't want to keep looking at the clock. Why not have 3 bells in the beginning, your 5 minutes of silence, and then your bell at the end? So they were nice enough to let me go in, and I spliced them into 5, 10, and 15 minutes, and then made a track with all these different bells. They had these crazy singing bowls. Like the smallest one was still probably, 12 inches tall. And then there was one on a massive stand that was maybe 3 feet tall, and then their largest one was like this giant iron or copper bell that has like a Buddha on it with all this script carved in it that had shipped over from Vietnam, and it has like the giant wooden clanker on it, and the monk was kind enough to play it for me, and yeah, it was awesome. I love me some bells.
What is that?
I don't know. Someone making a phone call?
Is that...
Movie Man said he was going to call in.
I know, but what is that noise? Did you pocket call somebody?
No.
What was that? Are we picking
Oh,
up
wait. I just called home.
I was like, what the hell is that noise?
Thank you, For Loco.
Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on for it. Try it again, 3D Movie Man. Sorry. We got issues. Alright. Anyway. What are you doing?
Wow.
3D Movie Man is calling, and we will talk to him about his experience.
Dude, he's got a 3D camera, but not Skype.
I know.
I thought he's called in on Skype before.
No, we never had him call
you're
in.
the only one that calls on Skype.
No, Mama Lisa does.
Mama Lisa.
Oh
does,
yeah, she does.
All right. Hello. Okay. We got that. Hello. Come on. There we go.
Yes.
Yes.
It's 3D Movie Man.
To accept, press 1. To smell.
3D movie man.
It is I.
Wow, he has a
I am on
voice.
the air.
Yay. You have a voice.
Yeah, I've got a voice. Frightmare, you guys should have went to Frightmare. That was awesome. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks for starting off the show to rub it in.
Yeah. Starting off the show, we're like an hour in.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, the only complaint I have about it is I never got to actually see John Carpenter. There was like this whole big lottery. I guess, I mean, it's on John Carpenter Boulevard where they were having this thing. So I guess he's really popular in Texas.
Wow, that's awesome.
You had to buy this ticket and then wait up in the area for your number to be called, and there was too much other stuff going on, so I never actually did that,
Yeah. But that photo of Romero is awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah. I got the the Graveyard Zombie doll, and he signed the package.
Nice.
So I figured, in 30 years or something, it'll really be worth something.
At least like $45.
No, that's how much we paid for it.
Yeah.
No, that was 30. That was 30.
Hey, that's $15, man. That's not bad.
But,
So-
I mean, you figure this. If you go and you want to send somebody a picture to have them sign it and send it back to you, you think about how much postage, and then you got to buy an 8x10, and how much it would actually cost you to send a photo to someone and then have an envelope for them to send it back to you. There's 10, $15 right there. So if you're paying somebody $20 for their autograph, and they'll talk to you and they'll shake your hand and they'll take a picture with you, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I want to.
I think it is.
So what else did you do
The
at
only one
Frightmare?
I really got awestruck with was Romero, and I don't know why, but when I got up there, I'm like, oh my God, it's Romero.
What do you mean you don't know why? It's Romero.
Well, I mean, he wasn't. Some of the people were kind of standoff. Like Sid Haig, he was a little standoff.
Yeah.
He kind of, I guess he was living up to his reputation or whatever, But Romero was really nice, really super nice, talking to people. He didn't cut people off. Some people they'll cut people off and thanks for coming. Kind of shoo them on out of the line.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like that at all. He was real engaging, and he would talk to people and real friendly, shaking your hand, talking to you. I talked to him about my 3D camera.
Awesome.
The 3D camera is a really good conversation starter at these things.
I bet.
Because that's how I got to really talk to Elvira, because she loves 3D.
Hell yeah, she does.
The first picture that I took with Elvira, it didn't turn out because I had my friend Paula with me, and she had her finger in the picture, and I turned the camera. Yeah, I turned the camera around so I could show it to Elvira on the screen, and I was like, oh no, there's Paula's finger in the picture, So we actually, she's like, oh, we'll take it again. So she held up the line, the people coming.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
And we took the picture again. And she actually said, yeah, send it to the website. I love 3D, so send the picture to the website.
She's so good.
Didn't
I
she
love
come to
her.
Norfolk,
She's
or did
awesome.
she have to cancel when she...
I'm not sure.
Haunted Hills. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Halloween. I have to play that one. It's awesome.
So did Romero say he's going to do anything in 3D?
He didn't mention anything about 3D.
Damn it.
He's like, I can barely get funded for
Technology,
2D.
the camera, how it works, how you display it. A lot of people ask that, well, how are you going to display it once so that's still a barrier until the 3D TVs really get out there and in everybody's homes. There's really no display technology because nobody really wants anaglyph,
Yeah.
because it's kind of a headache or whatever, But oh wow, what all did they? We met all kinds of people there. Margot Kidder was awesome. She actually, we took one picture and I showed it to her, and she said, oh, well, let's do another one, and this time we'll do it flying out of the screen, like Superman.
I showed Paul that photo, and he goes, What is he doing?
I didn't know 3D Movie Man was a white supremacist. Yeah, it looked kind of Nazi-ish. Like,
It kind of loses the effect without the green screen.
You're like, what are they doing?
We were supposed to be flying. It was her idea, but she was really really awesome. You know, she was really easy to talk to.
She looked like she was having a good time in that photo.
She's having fun talking to the people. She's very very engaging. You know, like I said, most of the people. The only person that I really met there that was kind of standoff was Sid Haig, and I think he's just trying to live up to his reputation.
Yeah.
And you know, he might have just been having a bad day. Anybody can have a bad day, so I figured. The toys. Oh my God, there was like.
Dude, yes, this is what I wanted to hear.
Universal monster toys and just I could have spent $1,000 easy on all this stuff. You know, I could have drug all this stuff home with me.
Hold on, I have to readjust.
You have to stop somewhere.
So what was the best? What do you think was the best collector item that you saw there?
Oh wow! I got a pretty good one from Elvira. She had like a metal sign, and she signed it for me.
Oh, nice.
So that's like a big. It's bigger. You know, I guess it's about 3 times as big as an 8x10 or something. It's pretty big. I don't know the exact dimensions of it. That was cool. Oh wow, collector's items. There was all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like overwhelming. I was really smitten with the Universal monster toys.
Yeah,
They were
fun.
Kind of off to the side of where Elvira was. There was this big giant booth with like thousands of different kinds of T-shirts and stuff. And these people took up that whole side of the wall.
Was it Sideshow or was it in a different company?
I think it may have been Sideshow. I've got one of their T-shirts. I'll have to look on the tag. I don't know where it is right at the moment. But yeah, it was incredible. What I really wanted was they had these little collector figures from like Frankenberry and Count Chocula and Boo Berry. And I don't even think they make that cereal anymore. And I thought those were cool. But yeah, the Universal monster heads and stuff like that. It's just the kind of stuff, you just don't see this around where I'm
awesome.
from. So I was like, wow, I want that, and I want that, and I want that, you know. So I could have spent $1,000 easy in there and still wanted more stuff. It was just everywhere. The Christine car was there. That was really cool.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Wow.
There was a hearse show out back with these tricked out hearses. I've got some of that in the video, so you'll get to see a little bit of that. But they had like coffins rolling out of them and like the Grim Reaper and all this stuff.
No shit, a tear actually just rolled out of my eye.
You know, fuzzy inside. Well,
3D Movement, have you been on, there's a guy online that has a website dedicated to Boo Berry because he didn't feel that he got enough screen time as Count Chocula and Frankenberry. Have you ever been on that guy's website?
I haven't seen that, but yeah, Boo Berry he was robbed in that hotel.
Yeah,
Frankenberry got some, but it was mainly Count Chocula.
Yeah, I'm a Frankenberry fan myself. But yeah, if anybody's listening still, go check. It's just Google Boo Berry, and this guy's site always comes up. He's a freak, actually. I'll be honest, but it's pretty cool that someone can.
Do they even make the cereal anymore?
They do, and you can usually only find it around Halloween. But you can find each one. Boo Berry's usually the hardest to find, but I think Frankenberry's still the best.
I think so.
Yeah, I love that he's a Frankenstein with like a little. He has like a little steam thing on the side. He's so steampunk. Yeah. And he's pink, which is just weird. Yeah.
He's a gay steampunk.
Yeah, I know. He's like the snaggletooth of the monster world. Like exit stage left.
Yeah.
You know. This is a very homosexual, unfriendly show.
They had a huge zombie walk, and I wanted to go out there and just walk through the middle of them with my 3D camera.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And I couldn't do it because we were stuck in line for Ramiro.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And we had waited for like an hour.
Right. Well, I mean, you gotta have priorities.
Getting out of line and then getting back in line because the line just kept getting longer until they finally told people you're gonna have to go do something else else. We're not letting anybody else line up right now.
Well, you gotta make a choice. You go, do you want to see another zombie, or do you want to see the creator of a zombie?
Right.
Exactly. You want to see the granddaddy of the zombie genre. So I chose for Ramiro, and I got my zombie toy, and I'm happy.
Good call. Good call.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we look forward to seeing the video. It's going to be on your website.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it up on YouTube right now. It's not the greatest video ever. I mean, the pacing's inconsistent, and but I mean, the camera's not really designed for video. It's just kind of a secondary thing. It's mainly designed for photos. So,
Which does very well.
I did take some video. And I actually went today. I went down to Podunk Branson, the Neon Nightmare in the middle of Missouri, the country music live capital of the world. But they have this really cool place there. It's called it's the Toy Museum. I'll have to find the exact name. But I went down there today and I took some 3D video. And after I get this one up, I'm gonna go put that one up too, because this place is awesome. They have like thousands and thousands of antique toys in there. I mean, just stuff you go in there and it's just, I've never seen all this stuff, It's like ventriloquist dummies, just hundreds of them. And this place is just, it's my favorite place in the world. It's awesome. I love this place. So sometime after I get the one from Frightmare up there, I'm going to put that one up too. So that's the next project. But I am going to work on your opening titles or your promo. I'm going to do that again. I need to go walk through a graveyard with my 3D camera. Then I can do it.
Okay.
That sounds awesome. What? Now those photos really did look pretty good. What camera did you buy?
I'm using the Fuji W1. So that's the first gen. I think I would wait till the second gen though, because I think it'll be a little better once they've got everybody complaints and constructive criticism in.
Right.
And there's a bunch of 3D cameras coming. It's just a matter of a few months. You're going to see a lot of these consumer-grade things. And I actually, while I was down in Branson, I went to Books A Million, or whatever that place is called, and I got, I'm trying to pull it out of the bag. Hold on just a second. On the cover of HD Video Pro, I've got a giant shark popping out of the screen, and it says 3D on a budget. I haven't read the article yet, but I'd say that a lot of the stuff is coming real quick.
Yeah.
The problem is, here's the problem. You cannot. It is damn near impossible to edit 3D video.
Yeah, it is.
And this is why I got stoked when I saw that Roxio was actually making a 3D video editor. Because they do budget stuff, and something that'll actually do the titling and stuff where you don't have to run it. And, by the time it gets to YouTube, it's been compressed and recompressed so many times by so many different programs that it looks like crap.
And if you don't keep the ratio, it's not going to work.
Right. Well, after you re-encode it so many times, even if you're using a real good encoding, real high bitrate encoding, you're still losing quality.
Yeah. Isn't that how you feel about it, Josh?
Things so many times to do all the steps to get it, it's just a nightmare. So I actually spent all week this week working on this video, and I spent 7 hours yesterday trying to figure out why I couldn't stabilize the left and right sides, and it was a nightmare. I don't, unless you're insane, I don't recommend editing 3D video until an actual tool comes along to do it, because it's a royal pain in the ass.
Or James Cameron.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got the equipment, the actual...
I know.
Actually do it. I don't have those things. So, I'm using, Stereo Movie Maker and U-Lead Video Studio, which is the cheapest, consumer...
That program drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of got glitches and flaws in it. It works. It actually works pretty well. Once you get everything side by side and you've got it all. Okay, I see you looking at your watch. You forget that I can see you.
I don't really have a watch.
Paul's just saying, the rest of us don't know what the hell you two are talking about. Like always, me and you.
Thank you, For Loco.
You guys should have totally went to Frightmare. You would have had the best of your life.
We don't make any money doing it. We are so poor.
That was awesome.
I would have loved to have gone to Frightmare, but I'm glad you had a great time.
Maybe next
Okay,
time.
I'm done talking.
All right. Your video will be up. Send me an email when it gets up. For everybody else, go to 3dmovieman.blogspot.com to check out what he already has up there and his upcoming 3D videos he took. And as soon as he gets it up, he'll let me know, and I will put a word out on zombiepopcorn.com. Thanks, 3D Movie Man, for the update.
Dude, we'll have to have him call in.
Yeah.
Again.
You
That
should
was
always
awesome.
call back.
We'll
See ya.
talk twice.
See ya in the chat room.
See ya.
Awesome. Let me reschedule. All right. Now let's. That's kind of awesome. That was. But
It's like the highlight of the fucking show.
I wish we would have went to Fright Night.
Oh, we have no money.
We have. Yeah. It's.
Texas is very far away.
We have Christina back now.
Hey, I'm
Yay.
back. Finally. After the nightmare that is my central air conditioning, said the privileged little girl. I'm like, oh, my air conditioning's broken. But it did suck. Yeah. But it did suck. I swear.
Yeah. No, it's bad. But I guess since it is 8 o'clock, let's start the second half of this program. If you caught the first half of it, or if you're listening to the rebroadcast, you do know.
If you're listening to the rebroadcast, you're probably just skimming along going, fuck, this is long. Thank you for it.
Yeah. You notice that we've had a lot of difficulties, and we will get to the reason why we are having those difficulties here in a moment. But seriously, me and Paul have started a new side project, and if you've been reading zombiepopcorn.com, you probably already know about it. But for those who don't, you can go to stories.zombie-popcorn.com to see the new side project. And do you want to describe what this project is, Paul?
Sure. Let's see. Basically, since Jason and I met at an awkward dinner, and we were wow, that sounds even gay. It was the blind date set up.
Damn.
No, but yeah, we constantly talk about just kind of like how we like hearing people's stories. We like story time. That was our favorite part in school. You know, teacher would read you. I don't know.
This is getting. And you thought the dinner at the comment was getting.
Yeah, I know, right, guys? This is getting really good. No, but we like hearing people's stories, and generally speaking, we think other people like hearing people's stories. So we thought we would just collect random people's stories, and basically just put them on the web and let everyone hear them.
Put them together, put a kind of theme behind it.
It's like a poor man's This American Life.
Yes, and
only without a college education.
Without college education, and with really any real purpose other than giving people the ability to tell their stories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a grand scale of what you do with your friends already when you're out at dinner or drinking or just hanging out. You just talk about things that are important to you, and, you know, it's fun. So that's what we're kind of doing here. We already have one story up on the website now, which we'll play here in a second.
You'll recognize one of the voices.
Yeah. And Paul Casper does all the music for every episode that's going to come out, that's out now and will come out. He does the background music for it.
So Paul Casper has to get off his ass and write a bunch of shit.
He's got to write a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
Because we got a bunch of shit to do.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll just loop it.
Yeah,
That's
which
what I do anyway.
Which brings us to why Christina is Christine, sorry, is in studio with us tonight. But first, before we get into that, I want to play the first episode that we've done so far to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Here's Zombie Popcorn Stories. Jason Davis and Paul Casper. Paul Casper wrote all the music for Zombie Popcorn Stories. If you have a story, Zombie Popcorn Stories is Jason Davis and Paul Casper. Look, we don't have any technical difficulties until she comes in here.
That's awesome.
Was it like home free while I was gone?
Yeah, it was.
It was perfect while you were gone. Here we go. Let's do this again. This is it. This is it for real. Maybe. That's so awesome. It's all of this stuff is going to make sense shortly. Seriously, it will. I promise you. But here it is again. From the day that we are born, our parents dress us up in outrageous clothing. Sure, they claim it was cute, but we know better. As we grow older, fashion seems to become a main focus of our daily lives. No matter how much we try to fight against it, we know that our clothes seem to represent who we are and how we see ourselves, and more times than not, how others view us. Clothing holds a strong area in all of our lives. People use bright colors to lift their spirits, and others wear strange and unique outfits to attempt to set themselves apart from the mainstream. There is no denying that we all feel good when we look good, and even the toughest manly man has his favorite pair of pants or his lucky shirt because it makes him feel and look good. Yeah, sure, he may fight you tooth and nail, saying that his clothing means nothing to him, but we know the truth. With all this good feeling about fashion, there has to be a dark side of clothing. What happens when fashion turns against you? Today, we look at two completely different people and how fashion turned against them and forced them into very strange and awkward situations. They are Zombie Popcorn Stories, fashion victims.
Okay. Well, this one time, when I was still living with my parents in Connecticut, I was coming home from a friend's house at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you know that they live in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, in a tiny, tiny village, and so there are critters everywhere outside all the time. And I was walking up the steps, and they had an outdoor cat, and I see him jumping on something in the front yard, and I walk over to him to see what he's looking at, and I was wearing a really long skirt, and I lean over to see what he has, and as I do so, whatever it is that he's poking at jumps onto me in the dark, and I start flailing around trying to get it off, and I can't feel it, I just feel something clinging to my leg, and I think that it drops off, so I run inside, and he runs in after me, and I slam the door, and as soon as I close the door, I feel something clinging to the inside of my skirt, and so I drop my skirt right there in the hallway and start screaming, and my mom comes running in. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. She goes, "What the hell are you doing?" Because I'm sitting there in my underwear right now, running around, trying to find whatever this is. And I go into the next room and I see a flying squirrel run under the couch. And so we spent like the next hour and a half trying to broom this flying squirrel into a box and put it back outside. Yeah, that's my funny story.
I always like to think that, I don't follow trends, or I'm, not a victim of fashion like everybody else, but at least at some point in your life you always are. And this story goes back to the mid-early 90s, when I was a teenager in school and we were all skateboarding, and it's pretty much all we did. So at this time, the switch had been made from like the flat skateboards with tight pants and big wheels to what then was referred to as the new school, which was these really long, skinny boards, big noses, tiny wheels, and we were all wearing like huge pants and giant oversized clothes that we would go to thrift stores and buy. Usually, at this time I was 15, so at least one friend had a car, so we could manage to get up to the thrift store every so often, and then the rest of the time you'd be riding your bike around with your skateboard, looking for new places. So the clothes hadn't yet been, the trend hadn't caught on so much that manufacturers were making giant pants. So we would go to these thrift stores and just buy massively oversized clothes. And the way we would test to make sure these pants were big enough was we wanted to make sure we could get our head through the cuff of the pant. So if we could, put the, where your ankle comes out of the pants around our head, it was a decent pair. And that usually ended up being around like size anywhere from 48 to, I think the largest I bought was maybe 56, which is just ridiculous. We'd have these belts on and these giant freaking pants and like a giant shirt that said, "Hi, my name is Bob," and had like the Ford plant logo on it or something. So one day I'm coming home from my friend's house wearing these size 56 pants, thinking I look all cool, and I'm riding the bike back. I've got the skateboard on the handlebars, but it was a really old bike with no chain guard. So here I am going down Mount Pleasant Road, which is a kind of a major road, lots of traffic, and my pants, my 56 size pants, get caught in the chain of the bike, and it proceeds to tear all the way up my leg till about really just shy of the waist. So I lose my balance, I get off the bike, I remove the pants from the mangled chain, get back on the bike, and now I'm riding, trying to get home fast, and I've got this giant pasty leg that hasn't seen the light of day in years on like my left side, and just this fabric that's flapping behind me like a long flag as I pedal down this bike, no longer looking cool. And so after that I start to get home. I'm approaching my driveway and I see these three girls, and they're on bikes, and I don't want them to see my legs, so I gather up all the fabric and kind of hold it together between my legs, holding onto the bike, rolling, trying to get closer to my driveway. Well, they start to slow down, and I can't pedal, because if I pedal, all the fabric's going to come loose, and they'll see that I have this giant rip going up my pants, and I'll look like an idiot, even more so than I already did. So I'm getting closer to the house, and the speed on the bike is getting slower and slower, and they aren't passing as fast as I thought they would. They're taking their time. So I don't know if you've ever ridden a bike and not pedaled it, but you get to that certain speed or that certain lack of speed, and you're wobbling and you're wobbling and you're wobbling, and finally I can't balance it any longer, and I fall over right in front of my driveway, and this big gust of wind comes and blows my ripped pant leg all the way up till the pant covers my face, and I hear them laugh and walk by. And so I'm laying there in front of my driveway on my side with my exposed leg and pants blowing up to my face, and I thought, maybe this fashion has gone a bit too far, and maybe I should tone it down and maybe wear some pants that fit a little better. And that's my story about fashion.
Zombie Popcorn Stories is Jason Bayless and Paul Casper. Paul Casper wrote all the music for Zombie Popcorn Stories. If you have a story you would like to share, please visit stories.zombie-popcorn.com for more information, or call 757-337-2195 to record your story. Zombie Popcorn Stories would like to thank everyone who has taken the time to share their lives with us. Thank you.
Oh, big pants.
Big Pants. Well, that's our new project. That was the first episode of our new project, Zombie Popcorn Stories. And so, as you can see, it's just the concept of anybody can call in. Whoa. Breathe.
Sorry, I moved the mic. Oh, that was Sarah breathing.
That was me.
Whoa, it's like an earthquake. Sorry.
I got a chocolate rain it for a bit.
Chocolate. But anyway, as you can see, we'll take anybody's stories. All you have to do is, if you live in the Hampton Roads area, we can do live recordings, or you can just call Zombie Popcorn. Or if you have Skype, do zombie-popcorn.com.
And there's really no theme. We'll just group them together as we get them.
Yeah.
If that. You know.
I mean, that's all we do now. We have so many different ideas. We have so many clip stories that we have now.
It can be touching. It can be...
It can be sad, funny. Yeah. We'll accept anything, because the purpose of it is, if you feel it's important, then it's important to be heard, and you should share it.
I mean, not that I feel big pants are that important, but
it really is, because
it's a funny story from my youth.
It's definitely, but it's important because everybody in their life has some kind of,
Dude, I was like a size 30.
So, it's moments like that. It's just like, you reflecting on your life, and it's fun. So that brings us to...
Go out and buy Lilt.
Go.
Sorry.
Or
That's my
just,
one plug, darkduck.com.
Or the shameless plug for... But so that brings us to who we have in the studio, Christine.
Hello again.
And this is just going to be a preview. She's not going to do a full show of stories. I just kind of wanted to have her on the show.
It's a teaser.
As a teaser, definitely. And to put her, what you're about to hear, okay, let me just put it out there. She has the worst luck.
Some people are born under an auspicious sign, maybe, and have the best luck, silver spoon, everything seems to come their way. You know those fuckers.
Yeah.
You talk to them. They're like, oh yeah.
I found $1 million when I was.
I just inherited this, and I went on my honeymoon in India, and my parents are so wealthy, and
I did heroin my whole life and never got addicted.
Yeah, they gave me the money to start my own business. I've never really worried about my bills. I'm financially independent and wealthy. Yeah, it's hard sometimes, but, I make do. Yeah,
I knew someone like that in college, and he was like, one time, I was like, oh man, my head hurts. He was like, I don't understand this headache thing. He was like, I don't think I've ever really had a headache. It just sounds weird. I was like, what? Who are you? I hate you.
So that's what we're going to do on this next episode.
This is the flip side.
Is the flip side. It's like, who cares about the person who has everything? What about the people who live their lives, very pure and respectful lives, but seems like every time they turn a corner, something bad happens to them.
Yeah, or weird.
If you don't, if you don't
mirror this, by the way.
Yeah. If you don't believe that she has this bad luck, go back and listen to the beginning of this episode. When she was in the studio, we had everything go wrong. Then she got a phone call and said, "Oh, I have to leave. I'll be back at 8 o'clock." As soon as she walks out the door, everything works. We had a good show. Yeah. She comes back in. Josh is, I gotta go. He's gone. So far, no more technical difficulties.
Yeah, you're betting 1,000,
but
sound like my mother.
But her stories do not just end with causing whatever problems to happen to our radio show.
She's literally a black cloud.
It is. It's funny because.
Wow, you're like Charlie Brown.
That's what 3D Movie Man just said.
It's true.
It's like, you just wear a shirt that says "Good Grief" on it.
Oh, guys.
But
I feel like I should pull a football away.
But as you'll hear, not on tonight's show, but when we do the actual episode of her stories, her bad luck is not just always the humorous kind of weird stuff. It's actually threatened her life. She could have died several times because of this bad luck. But we're not going to go into that tonight. You actually have to listen to Zombie Popcorn Stories to hear those stories. But she is going to share a couple of them with us tonight. And just recently she went to the gym to work out, and I got to hear this story because it's so bizarre.
Just so weird, man. I mean, this isn't like it's not bad luck. It's just weird luck more than anything, I guess. So anyway, this specific story. So I go to the gym all the time. No problems usually. I'm on the treadmill in this room full of other people working out. And, I'm getting into it. It's maybe like a half hour in, I'm kind of feeling good, watching TV or whatever, like on the gym TV. And then, I feel like a tap on my shoulder and I'm like, what? Kind of weirded out, take my headphones off and I turn around and it's this, staff member from the gym in like her staff t-shirt. And she's like, ma'am, will you step off the treadmill? And I was like, oh, okay, like scared. Like, did I forget to pay my membership? Like, what's going on, And I get off and she's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but we can't find your daughter. And I was like, my daughter? And she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, I don't have a daughter. I don't have any kids. Never been married, never been pregnant. Like, I don't know what's going on. And she's like, oh, well, ma'am, Haley, she went upstairs. I don't know what's going on. I just wanted to alert you, but we're going to find her. If you want to come down to childcare. And I was like, you don't understand. I really swear I don't have children. And she was just like, kind of looked at me like kind of uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what she thought. Like, why would someone lie about such a thing? But kind of looked at me and I'm just like, can I go back? And then this woman a few treadmills away from me and was like, Haley's missing? And I'm like, okay, there you go. That's the woman. Like, you should have believed me the first time. But yeah, so that's just kind of a little tidbit of what happens in my everyday life. I'm the person that gets stopped at every airport security line, and every time I see a movie, the screen melts or, but I always get my money back every time I see a movie because something bad always happens.
Well, speaking of bad movies, two things. We'll talk about the movie. You went to go see a movie recently, and you were the only person in the theater. You were like, oh, I'm by myself. I'm just going to see this movie. And then what happened?
Yeah, so this is kind of like the highlight, like, of, I don't know, man. I went to see a movie, and it was like a Saturday afternoon. I decided to take myself to the movies, kind of a relaxing day. So I go down to the mall, to MacArthur Center, buy a ticket, and I sit down, and I'm a little bit early, and I figure, I'll just kind of hang out. And it's comfortable, and then as soon as the lights go down and, preview kind of starts up, and I'm like, sweet, man, this is going to be great. I'm the only person here. It's going to be a great Saturday, whatever. And then all of a sudden, people start kind of pouring in to the theater. And I'm just like, dang, like, oh, there goes I'm the only person in the movie thought. But whatever, I expected there to be people here, not a big deal. And as the people start to come in, maybe 50 people all come in at once, including about, 5 to 10 people wearing scrubs. And I'm like, this is also odd. I wonder, what's going on. And then they kind of start to spread out. And as they start to interact and sit down, I notice something's really not right. All of the people start, they're kind of shouting. They're being peculiar. They're all dressed very strangely. And then two men sit down immediately next to me in a chair, in a room of, however many 200 seats or whatever. There's maybe 50 people, and I'm sitting in the middle, and then on both sides of me now, there are two men. And I immediately notice these people are severely, severely mentally ill, like to the point where they must be in hospital because all these people in scrubs are there with them.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was like, and it's just, I just knew immediately. And then I was like, oh, and they're both sitting next to me. This is a little bit awkward. There are many other seats to have, but whatever. And I was just thinking, like, just not pay attention. And then, these people were so mentally ill that they were, they're hospitalized. They can't understand a movie. These people can't talk to each other. And the man sitting next to me starts shaking back in his chair, like wobbling up and down, rocking really hard, and then starts going, wop, 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 like loudly.
What movie were you seeing?
It was My Sister's Keeper, which is a really sad movie about a little girl that gets cancer and dies.
Why would you go see like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
And that was playing at the time, I think. I was thinking the same thing. And these people...
Let's take them into this Cameron Diaz drama.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a really sad movie, you know? It's a really intense movie.
Oh, this will bring them down and we can put them right to bed.
Yeah, it's like a movie with like a death scene of a child and like a courtroom. And so the man next to me starts whopping really loudly, and I don't know what to do because I can't tell him to be quiet because he won't like get it. And I'm thinking I should leave, but then I don't want to leave because to leave I have to get past these two people plus go through a row of 5 or 6 other people, and I just was really uncomfortable. And these people seemed kind of unpredictable and unstable, and every once in a while one of the people in the theater would have a serious freak out, and a person in the scrubs would take them out in the hall, and then they would come back and they would be quiet. But the whole movie, it was like I mean, a circus. Like, it was just so loud and so insane, and the movie's really emotional, and I'm just sitting there like looking back and forth going, like, why would these people not rent out a movie theater? Or maybe they did, and they just forgot and sold me a ticket, or I don't know what's happening, but it was the most...
Why would you rent out that movie?
Right, of all movies. I was so stressed out, and I just sat there.
Let's take all the crazy people to see The English Patient.
Yeah. Or The
brilliant.
Green Mile.
Yeah.
I was horrified, and I was just so uncomfortable, and I was sitting there kind of like holding my knees to my chest being like, okay, just sit through the movie, it'll be over soon.
In a fetal position.
Yeah, and the whop, like that loud, and it never stopped, and it went throughout the whole movie, and I was just, yeah, I can't explain how I felt. I was really uncomfortable and pretty horrified, and it was just, I mean, who does that happen to, you know? Like, who does that?
So you go to watch a movie and a team of an insane asylum empties out all their patients.
Yes.
Into your
like, it must have been
movie.
like a field trip
And
or
you're
something.
the only one in there.
I just think it would have been
crazy
even
people sitting on the inside.
Immediately next to me, screaming and rocking.
I think it would have been awesome if you were left the movie, you know, after the show was over, and they're like, "Where
And
you
it's My
going?" And they try to
Sister's
put you on.
Keeper. That's what's so great.
Yeah, where are you going? I would have been.
They put
like,
you on the bus.
I was so like, I waited until they all left because I was like, I don't know how to explain. I just didn't want to get up. I was really uncomfortable.
It's so funny.
And like during the really intense parts of the movie, the people would get really upset, obviously, and like start screaming and crying, and I was just like, "Why are you here? Why would you do this?"
This is worse than Girl Interrupted.
Yeah, it was so bad.
That is awesome. But no, I don't know anybody who's had that experience.
No, me neither. I mean, it's not an experience that happens. Especially, like, I was so excited to have a nice, relaxing day, you know, because most of my days aren't very relaxing, you know, and finally I thought it was going to happen for me, and it did not.
Awesome. But you said earlier that people mistake you for other people.
Oh, yes.
The Yorgos experience. So
Yes.
Yorgos is where we start, anytime that we take zombie popcorn on a road trip, we start off at Yorgos and get bagels and stuff and kind of do a preview of what we're doing.
Bagels,
yeah,
which, oddly enough, aren't
which I can't hear.
horrible.
No, it's a fantastic restaurant.
Despite my belief that everything vegan is awful, they're pretty good.
They are good.
So anyway, what
Yeah.
about your
Yeah, so I mean, just in general, I mean, I get mistaken. I mean, almost everywhere I go, someone thinks they know me from somewhere, or you know, oh, you know, weren't you in that commercial, or oh, hey, didn't we go to high school together, or whatever. And it's always
That's
no,
funny
no.
because when you walked in, I was like, dude, this chick was in my class
See?
in like sixth grade. Nicole, is that no?
That's what,
not you.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, I just have a very familiar face, I guess. Like, the people when I go to Bangkok Garden, they just start calling me by movie characters that they think I am. Yeah, so anyway, I went to Yorgos recently, which I love. I go all the time, one of my favorite places. And I go in one morning before work to get breakfast. And I'm in line and just kind of waiting, you know, by myself. And then I get up to the register, and I'm like, "Hi, good morning." And the young woman behind the counter, whom I do not recognize, doesn't say anything to me. And I'm like, okay. And she has this sour look on her face, and she just looks like really annoyed, and I'm not sure why. And I just think she's just one of those, bitchy clerks at some store, like, happens sometimes. Don't really think much about it. Go on with my order. She's typing my order in the computer. And then she just kind of huffs and looks at me and says, "Are you just going to pretend like last night didn't happen?" And I was just like, and I stopped and I slowly looked over my shoulder behind me to try and figure out who she's talking to, because it can't be me. And look over my other shoulder, and she's staring at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, are you talking to me? And then she's, all huffy, and she's like, yeah, like, seriously, what about that? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. She's like, yeah, good try, and goes on and on about how I drove her home, and she doesn't go into, like, details, but it sounds like some kind of, like, I don't know what it was, some kind of bizarre, like, sexual tension experience, and then I told you I liked you kind of a thing, and you're just gonna act like you don't even know me, and I'm like, dude, and I'm like, seriously, I swear to God, I've never seen you before. I'm not sure what's going on. She says, yeah, I met you. You work across the street at that restaurant. She's like, that's how, duh, remember when we met, whatever, I was your customer and whatever. And I'm like, I don't work at a restaurant. I'm not, and this is definitely a different person. And for the longest time, she's mad at me, thinking that I'm lying, that I'm just saying, oh no, sorry, I don't recognize you. But it took me forever. Finally, I convinced her, and she still seems a little skeptical. And I just kind of, didn't go back to Yorgos for a little while after that, because I was a little bit terrified to see my apparent ex-lover. But it makes me wonder, like, do I have some second life? Do I go home and think that I go to bed and then get up?
Do you have a drinking problem?
Seriously.
Do you sleepwalk?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't think so.
But how could you sleepwalk and work at a restaurant?
Jan and I watched a program about like sexual disorders, and there are people who apparently have.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I think I saw that.
They fall asleep and have apparently amazing sex.
But it's not even like just sex with the person like laying next to you. It's like one girl was like, like one girl said like her like ex-boyfriend came over. She answered the door. They talked and had a drink. Yeah, I saw that.
And she's like, I totally did them.
Yeah, then she wakes up and she's like, what are you doing here? He's like, you don't remember?
We totally
so maybe that's
did it.
Maybe the clerk and you both had the same thing. And you
met in some kind of like fucking
Twilight
Sandman
Zone
dream world.
Maybe so, but it was just bizarre. I mean, usually people that see me kind of like, oh, I know you, and I'm like, no, and then they kind of, are you sure?
No, I'm really used to this.
Yeah, but this one was definitely the freakiest. She would not leave me alone, and she was genuinely angry with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was very uncomfortable.
But when you were in college, you ordered some Chinese food.
My parents love this story because
this is the best awkward moment story ever. Because we've all had these stories.
Oh yeah.
I don't think. Well,
I mean, I'm like the most like open, accepting, lovely like person when it comes to all races and genders and sexual orientation and everything. And when I was in college, apparently, especially in my sleep, when I'm
guys, her phone number is
to Yorgos.
but on if she may do it in her sleep, but when we do the actual stories episode, you'll find out how her dating life really ends up. Those stories
my
are
waking dating life.
You think what you're hearing now is bizarre. You just wait. Anyway, go ahead.
Seriously. So I'm in college. When I was in college, I mean, just to give you an idea, I was the director of our school peace center. I was the vice president of the Students Against Sweatshops. I'm super involved in like those social justice movements and women's equality, all that stuff. So one day I'm at a friend's apartment, and he's having a few people over, not like a big party, just, a small gathering, and I'm there, and it's kind of late, and I'm kind of hungry, and I'm like, I'm going to order some takeout. So I call this local Chinese delivery store, and I order the veggie lo mein. And they said, okay, we'll be there in 10 minutes, whatever. I say, great. So I go outside with a friend, and we sit on the stoop at the apartment complex, which is a large several different buildings in this complex, sitting kind of in the parking lot, waiting. And 10, 15 minutes later, car pulls up, and Chinese man walks out and is at the building next to them. And I'm like, oh man, Chinese delivery guy is going to the wrong address. So I start waving my arms at him, and I'm like, hey, veggie lo mein, over here. And I just start hollering at him, and he just kind of stares at me, and I'm thinking, like, he must not speak English, you know, and so I'm hollering louder, and I'm going towards him, and I'm like, hey, wrong apartment, veggie lo mein's over here, hey, and I must have said it 1,000 times, and he's just staring at me, and I'm just like, what is his problem? And I'm getting angry, because I'm like, why is he not giving me my food, you know, and I'm just going on and on and on at him, and then finally he just goes, bitch, and mutters and walks inside, and I'm like, what an asshole. I'm going to call this company. I'm pissed, you know. And I go back to the stoop, and I'm, like, all frustrated. And shortly after that, another car pulls up. Chinese delivery man walks out with my food. And I was just like, holy shit. And my friend was like, did you just assault my neighbor? And I'm like, oh my God, of course, you know, Chinese people do other things than bring me lo mein. It is true. And I was just like so horrified. And then that night I go back inside, and I was just like, just dying. I was so embarrassed and so upset. And my friend, another friend of mine, said something that night about, and I was just on a roll apparently. My friend says, oh, yeah, I'm flying to Hawaii or something. I got a free ticket because my sister works for the airline. And I say, oh, cool, is she a stewardess? You know, which is not even the right term. And he goes, no, she's a captain. I was like, thanks. All right, 2 for 2 tonight, offending everybody. Good job, me.
Is she married to a pilot?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that was. I mean, my family loves that story because it's just so like
that's an awesome
out of character for me, and it was just so embarrassing. And I was just like praying I would never see that man again. Luckily, I did not.
You know, he walked in the house. He's like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think he must have thought. I don't even think he thought I was mistaking him for someone. I think he just thought that I was being like racially insensitive. You know, like calling him like, hey, what's up, veggie lo mein? Cooking some lo mein tonight? Where is your soy sauce? You know.
But not all your stories are
blatantly racist.
That and humorous in the sense that like, oh, how inconvenient. You got E. coli when you were 19.
I did. Yes, I've been a vegetarian strictly since I've been 13.
Boo.
So I'm 19, and I think that was when it was the bagged lettuce outbreak, and my whole family eats the bagged lettuce, but only I get sick, obviously, even though it's all from the same bag. And you know, I mean, there's like 4 of us in the family, and I was the only one that got sick. I think my grandma even ate it, and she's a million years old, and I got sick, and she did not. Anyway, yeah, so it was a long story. It sucked. I was really sick. I go to the hospital. One day, finally, like when they figure out, like, oh, I think, you know, something's wrong. It's traveled to your kidneys. Like, you need to go to the hospital right away. And like, I'm like, oh my God, you know, people die from this. I was really scared. So, you know, I'm young. My mom comes with me. We go to the hospital. We're there, and the first night, you know, the first thing they want to do is give me medicine for nausea. Because I was, you know, violently sick. And this is before they even knew what was going on. It was just kind of like stabilize her, whatever. So I have an IV. So they give me like a nausea medication that goes through the IV. The nurse, it's like, you know, she's like bragging about how she's so good at her job and it's only her like 2nd week or something like that. And so I'm automatically a little bit, you know, not trusting in her because I'm like, oh, 2nd week, that makes me a little nervous. Like, this is kind of serious. Whatever, I'm sure she's fine. And she's all kind of bragging, oh, I'm excellent at this. I'm the best, you know, best IV poker. I always get them on the first try, like really bragging. And I'm like, okay. And so she does, and she goes, and my nausea goes away, and she goes out of the room, and I'm sitting there with my mom. And then all of a sudden, I feel something weird. Like, my neck starts feeling a little weird and tense. And my head starts turning, and I can't control it. And I'm like, why is my head turning? And
you mean turning like?
Turning to the side, like you're shaking no. You know what I mean? Like you're shaking your head no. It's turning to the point where I thought my neck was going to, like, snap. I was like, oh, my God, this really hurts. And then my tongue started coming out of my mouth and doing, like, weird tongue tricks. And I was like, what's going on? My mom was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, I don't know. And then, you know, I break, and then a nurse comes in. My mom gets a nurse, and the nurse comes in, and she gets in my face, and she goes, why are you doing that with your tongue? Stop doing that. Why are you doing that? As if like I'm just trying to be an asshole, you know? And I'm like, you know, crying, and I'm like staring at her like, help me, like what's happening? And she just keeps going, stop doing that. Like right up in my face, like such a bitch. And I'm so upset. And I'm like...
And then your gym teacher comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, my gym teacher when I was 14 did say something pretty horrible. But anyway, other story. So this happens, and then I go into a full-blown seizure. And this head nurse comes in, bumps the bitch nurse out of the way. They have to, like, strap me down. It's horrible, you know, it's weird. I've never felt anything like it. I pass out. Wake up later, and as I'm coming to, my mom, who is wonderful and very nervous and a lovely Christian woman, has called her priest because she's scared. So I wake up, and the first thing
the power of Christ compels you.
I wake up, and the first thing I see, the last thing I remember is passing out mid, you know, full-blown seizure. I come to, the first thing I see is a priest standing over me, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, like something horrible has happened. Anyway, you know, he was just there to be nice, but what happened was this nurse gave me twice as much of this nausea medication to the point, and it somehow seeped into my brain, like, and disabled my motor functions, which they said is like a 1 in a bazillion chance that could have happened. And they were like, you know, testing me all these neurological things, and like, your brain is fine, it's because of this, and like, you know, the nurse like didn't even like apologize or like wasn't even a big deal.
The best.
Yeah, I'd get him one time, but like, yeah, I mean, it was horrible, and it was like, I mean, that was one of the most scared I've ever been in my entire life, and it was just like because of this freak, bizarre, strange thing. Yeah, so that sucked.
But that's not even the end of it, was it? They said.
Oh yes, right. So that sucked royally. But then I'm in the hospital. Everything's fine. A week goes by, and they say, okay, E. coli is done. You're stabilized. You can go home. And I'm like, finally, I mean, I haven't eaten solid food in a long time. I'm just so like sick of being in the hospital, and I'm so excited. My sister's gonna get married in like the week after that, and I'm like all ready. And I go, and they're like, okay, well, before you go, it's like the day I'm leaving, I've signed discharge papers. We need to do a scan, you know, of your kidneys, make sure everything looks good, and then, you know, we can send you home. But we're sure it will. Tests all look good. So they do a scan of the kidneys, and then they're, like, talking to each other and, you know, bring a doctor in. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, what's happening now? And I'm like, I feel great. You know, I'm ready to go. And they're like, well, yeah, well, it's good news. You know, the E. coli is gone. Kidneys look beautiful. And I'm like, awesome. I'm out the door. And they were like, but somehow your gallbladder is severely infected. We've never seen a gallbladder this big before. It's caked with stones. Have you been having pain? And I'm like, no, I feel fine. And they were like, well, it's horrible. You need to get it removed immediately, or, you know, it's going to explode. And it was this insane, like, the rush to get my gallbladder taken out, like, immediately. And it was just, like, so frustrating. And I was like, oh, this must be from the E. coli somehow. And they were like, no, it's 100% unrelated. This thing just happens sometimes. People just need to get their gallbladders taken out. And I'm like, 19. Like, how does this happen? Like, double whammy right away. Yeah. So that sucked, too.
That does suck.
Wow.
But funny for us. Thanks for sharing.
No problem.
I'm glad that your near-death experiences are so amusing.
If you like that one, you're really going to love the other one that we're going to talk about on Zombie Popcorn
better.
Stories. It's so much better.
That's funny, though.
But
I mean, that's just like unfortunate. But everyone tells me like, oh, you know, it's a blessing in disguise, because if you hadn't gotten E. coli, they wouldn't have found the gallbladder until it was too late. And I'm like, or I could have just not gotten sick.
Right,
Are you
right.
kidding?
I mean, it is kind of fortunate.
I mean, come on.
Hospitals are creepy.
They are.
You were in.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for like 8 days recently. Well, not that recently.
You had mad cow, not mad cow. What am I thinking?
Swine flu.
Swine flu.
That turned into pneumonia.
Yeah.
And then when I got done with it, I went back to work and edited and recorded a program about swine flu and how it can kill you, which was really fucking boring because I was like, I know this.
I've already experienced this.
But yeah, it's weird how you meet crazy freaking people in your life. I always seem to meet crazy people. When I was born is I think when it all started. I was born 3 weeks early. And the nurses told my mother that apparently someone had told her to drink a lot of lemonade. It was good for vitamin C.
but I came out all like bruised looking with jaundice,
Oh.
and so they thought she was a heroin addict. So they were all like asking her all these questions, and then they wouldn't let her take me home for about 10 days. And the head nurse kept saying that your baby's not eating, your baby's not eating. He's got all these problems. And finally, the other nurses came up and said, I don't know what she's talking about. He cries all the time and eats constantly. And
they're like, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lifelong issue, you know? And anyway, a few, I don't know, I guess about 15 years later, that same head nurse was arrested for becoming obsessed with certain babies and keeping them like abnormally long time.
You could have been.
Yeah, I could have been like kidnapped and
Oh my
hidden
God.
away in a fucking Unabomber cave somewhere. Or
Why
something.
couldn't you? Then we could have you on the
I know,
show.
It would have been so cool.
Think of the music you could make then.
I know. But yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. I seem to meet
That is
odd
weird.
people.
That's pretty sweet, though.
That is awesome. But yeah, so wow, that's kind of weird. I don't think I have any odd stories like that.
No, you don't meet anybody weird. Like my next door neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, I mean, not to get too graphic because this is pretty sad, but he kidnapped, raped, and killed a lady, and
Hilarious.
yeah. Oh, there's a good time. Thank you for listening to Zombie Popcorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, my mom was like on all the news channels, and I remember watching the news channels played home video footage of this guy sitting in our couch, and it was our house with like the same two pictures of the, you know, like you're watching the TV of the killer sitting in the spot you're sitting in, watching you, you know, and awesome. Sorry, someone had to die for it, but no, I mean it was really creepy. But I seem to like always run into these people
That
as
is
well.
really scary.
So I understand your pain.
Yeah.
On my mother's side of my family, like our great-great-grandfather was a sheriff and was assassinated. Someone was paid to kill him at a West Virginia turkey shoot.
Wow.
And then apparently I have some faraway cousin that was beat to death by a mob at some point at
Good
some
Lord.
riot. And then
Yeah, I guess so.
my mother's bed caught on fire when she was like a child. My two oldest great-grandparents died in a fire. Another far distant cousin of mine had a camp out, and they were sleeping in a treehouse, and they had a nail up at like a 45-degree angle, and then an extension cord just laying over it.
Yeah.
But the one spot in the extension cord that had no insulation touched the nail, and it caught the entire treehouse on fire and killed all the children inside.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't smoke. It's like the only thing I haven't tried. You know, if it's in a needle, yeah, that's cool. But not if it requires a flame. Yeah, so it's weird how some people just have those.
Yeah.
You know, someone else in my family was struck by lightning, but actually lived through it.
That's awesome.
And my mother and her mother were talking once, and lightning actually went in one window, out the other.
Ooh.
And it's awesome. But then on the other side of the family, everyone just dies of heart attacks. So I take after my mother's side of the family. So I'm hoping to God that I'm going to get like swiped up by a tornado or something really awesome when it's my time to go.
I'm not hanging out with you anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
we have a history of bizarre deaths.
Can you Skype in from now on?
Yeah. But you know, like some people, like when you wake up in the morning, if you stub your toe, then the whole day is just shit. You know what I mean? And that's like my life. It's like it's like you stub your toe, and then you miss the bus, and then this, and then this, and then this, and it's like the whole day sucks. But it's like I'm a really positive person. Like it's not like I expect these things to happen, because I think a lot of people that expect that kind of bring bad things onto themselves. If you wake up, you're like, today is going to be a horrible day. It usually is. But I'm the opposite. I'm very positive. I'm always thinking the best of things. I'm always looking for the best in people. But, it just continues.
You know what I found actually makes a really good day? Jan usually...
Vodka?
Well, yeah. Thank you, for Loco. Jan sometimes will get up ahead of time from me to feed the cat. And sometimes if I want a good day, I will actually get up on her side of the bed because I know it's the wrong side of the bed. And I know that my life is shit anyway.
Aw.
So that if I get up on the wrong side, I usually have a great fucking day.
Interesting.
Yeah. So try it.
I will.
Yeah.
It's my side.
Huh?
Because it's on my side.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could stay home all day.
So anyway, as Zombie Popcorn Stories, this is just a preview of what's to come to the show.
And the next story will be about how Paul's sleeping on the couch.
It'll be the journey of the couch.
Yeah.
No, but those are just some previews from Christine. We'll get her whole life story tonight, and we'll put it up for the world to hear. And if you want to contribute to Zombie Popcorn Stories, you can. And all you have to do, please do. All you have to do is go to stories.zombie-popcorn.com or call 757-337-2195. That's 757-337-2195. And just call and record your story.
Yeah, there's not going to be anyone there to pick up the phone.
Yeah,
so
no,
you
it's
don't
just-
have to worry about.
Yeah, you don't have to worry
an
about
awkward
us.
banter like we have all night.
Yeah.
Um,
So
That's it. It's anonymous.
Yeah, it's totally anonymous. If you don't want it to be anonymous, just leave your first name and where you're from. Do not put your last name. Just your first name.
If you're really shy, you can just email it to us.
Yep.
We
Stories-
won't email you back. We
Yeah.
don't have any
Yes.
anybody to sell your email to, unfortunately.
No, we don't.
So we'll just take it and we'll read it, or we'll get someone else to read it.
Yep. And the email that you can send it to is stories@zombie-popcorn.com. And we look forward to hearing those stories. So far, the first story we put on has been fairly popular.
Yeah, surprisingly.
And the stories that we've heard from people are pretty amazing. And we want more.
We just got to get enough to time all together. And hopefully we'll have some coming out every couple weeks.
Yeah, probably about every 2 weeks if we start getting a good flow of them. In
Whoa,
there.
whoa, whoa.
Whoa, he's got to write the music. He's like,
Yeah,
whoa.
that shit takes a long time.
So like every
man.
2 days. And
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. I think we're going to end it here so we can get Christine's story down so we can get that back up on the site so everybody can hear the full story if you like those samples. Again, it's if you want to hear it, it's stories.zombie-popcorn.com.
Dark.net.
Dot. Boom, boom, boom.
Check it out, everybody.
Do it. So, I think we're going to end it here. Thanks for everybody who listened to the live broadcast. Thank you, 3D Movie Man, for calling and give the update
That was
to
awesome.
Frightmare, of Texas. Thanks, Josh. He had to bail out.
Where's
early.
3D Movie Man from? Are you close to Texas?
No, he had to travel that way.
Oh, wow. That's dedication.
It is. Because we were supposed to go, but we
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're supposed to follow through with a lot of things.
We're doing better.
Yeah. Kind of.
Paul's drunk.
Yeah.
Paul is drunk.
No, I am not. I have tea now.
Well, not anymore, you don't.
All right.
It's a good example of your sobriety.
Clearly,
I'm not drunk. Smash.
You've been listening to Zombie
I hope my
Popcorn
mom
Radio.
doesn't listen to this show.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.